Folks, hello. A lot of you have been asking, Spencer, why don't you use prosthetic legs? Where are your prosthetic legs? Why isn't that an option? These are all great questions, and I'm going to answer those today. But first, I just want to say for all you folks that are new, welcome. I'm beautifully overwhelmed by all the support lately. Thanks for checking us out and sticking around. Okay, let's get to the video. To tell this story, we're going to need to go outside and go for a walk, as you non-disabled folks would say. It's like such a nice day outside today. I get to wear my sunglasses. For those of you that aren't familiar with how I lost my legs, one of these sides you can click, and that's the story. But after my last surgery, the doctors told my parents, and I didn't know this until later, that every kid wants to walk, or should want to walk. So they'd like to get me in some prosthetics. And I was like, whatever you say, doc. So we went to, I was 5 years old, and we went to the prosthetics place, and it was actually, I was like super embarrassed because you have to get completely naked, and then they take this like plaster and they made a mold of everything below my waist, and then they build this bucket that sits on top of these like two metal legs, and they like cut a slit out in the front for the obvious things, and also in the back, and then you'd have to powder the bucket up and put your body in that, and then you'd sit on top of these two legs. And I had a little walker, and I had to like learn how to shuffle my weight and then kick each leg forward. So here's the thing. Those prosthetics kind of worked, but I wasn't really into them. I didn't like want to practice with them. It was so much easier for me to walk on my hands. But then when we went back for another appointment, so like a year or two later, they said, well, if you actually use these more, we can get you some better legs that work. So then I had to do that whole process again, and we got some legs that were a bit better. I could actually sit down in them. It took a lot. There was like a lot of joints, and you had to literally like pull a string to like bend the knee and all the things. But they wanted me to start using them in school. So I started using my prosthetic legs at school, and I got so good that I didn't need to use a walker anymore. I could use crutches instead. But I gotta be honest, like, they were obnoxious. They wanted me to use them more in school than I wanted to. So I would work with a physical therapist, I think it was twice a week, and we'd walk in the halls, or they'd take me on these mini adventures. We'd go to like the custodial closet, or we'd get to go to the equipment closet in the gym. They tried to make it fun for me, which I really appreciated, but I just hated it. So I was using my legs all through elementary school, and I just hated them. I dreaded using them every single time. So finally, at the end of grade 6, when I was gonna be moving on to middle school, we sat down with my physical therapist and my family, and for the first time, instead of people telling me what I should be doing, they were like, it's very clear that you don't like these, do you? And I was like, no, I don't. Like, cool, why don't you just stop using them? Like, you can navigate on your hands, and when you get to middle school, you can use your wheelchair full time to get around. And so that's what we did, and it was like the first time anyone had ever really asked me what I wanted. You know, my parents were good at that, but they were listening to the suggestions of the doctors. And so for me, that's where I really understood the importance of asking folks what they actually want and need in order to navigate the world or be comfortable with who they are. So, why am I telling you all of this? Number one, I wanted to answer your questions about why I don't use prosthetic legs. But number two, during the pandemic, I've really come to appreciate the ability to, I don't call it walking, I call it like I'll go for a stroll. It just feels better for me. While strolling through my neighborhood, I found all of these other little pockets with cute houses and cool graffiti and all of the things. And so I'm grateful to have the ability to be mobile in some way, to get out and to explore. And I'm grateful that years ago, someone actually took the time to listen to me about what was best for me and how to navigate the world. Christmas is over. I think I'm so cool that I'm just going to wear my sunglasses inside. Folks, thanks for joining us today on this little stroll around the neighborhood. That's it. Hope you have a great week. As always, you're my new best friend. Call me every 5 minutes. Goodbye.